Hmm. Hello, and welcome to an episode of Everybody Gets a Trophy, where everybody gets a trophy, but everyone doesn't deserve one. I'm your humble and gracious host, Ien Conner, and thank you for everyone who's going to come watch it on the playback, everyone who's watching from your couch, from your office, it doesn't matter, from your cars, boom, pun intended. You'll see why I said that in a second. But I want to have it back and forth with someone because we originally planned it out to do it. We did it. Like, we had some technical difficulties initially. So I want to bring this person back to have like just a deep dive conversation with him and just, get a little bit of his background, um, deal with some of the controversial stuff that's going on right now on the internet and in these communities that we frequent. So without further ado, let me bring up Brentpham.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking. But there's a lot I want to add, but if you can introduce yourself to the audience, tell people a little bit about yourself, a little background, whatever you feel comfortable with, boom, that'll be cool.
Okay, sure. My name is Brent Pham, and Ian brought me up here to discuss some stuff that's going on online, and yeah, that's why I'm here. I mean, if I say to Ian, that this,
I know
you
100%.
know,
That's why
if
I
you
said,
say people are watching, and they'll be like, oh, oh yeah, oh okay,
mm-hmm.
so you as
And you're a big deal. You know what I mean? You're like a public figure. You know what I mean? Like
I mean.
you've you've rubbed shoulders with the elite. Stop playing. Stop being so modest. Like that's crazy. But you are a a polarizing figure, if I may say, like, and you, which I would take some of your takes as, oh, that's great. This man has his own opinions. He has like a way of crafting an argument, which I find it's very, very insightful. And it's very, very like, even when people are like attacking you just for having an opinion, it's very commendable because you don't move from your principles. You don't let someone sway you with basically saying nothing to you about not even engaging with your arguments. And they try their best to bully you out of your position, which I commend you so much because I've never seen you allow anyone to bully you out of your positions. And I just want to give you a round of applause just for that alone, because that's so difficult to do in the culture we're in today.
Right, and it's just in our societies, there's a lot of propaganda. You see this
Mm-hmm.
in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, I'll say something controversial. Barack Obama, all these presidents that people worship. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, even the
Mm-hmm.
people that didn't win, like Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. All these people, they have they're very good at spreading propaganda. It's on both sides of the political spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
and I see this a lot in our society when it comes to politics, and I also
Mm-hmm.
see it in the social media sphere, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like in Los Angeles, Southern California, it's an influencer culture where people are propagandized to attend certain restaurants or patronize certain businesses because they're influenced by people talking fancy and stuff like this. And I see this in the entertainment world as well, with especially the
Mm-hmm.
Power Rangers community. When you have someone like Jason David Frank who talks a nice talk, but you
Mm-hmm.
look at his personal, like his dealings with people he called friends, and
Mm-hmm.
you wonder, why are people defending him like this? I mean, it's one thing to make mistakes, but
Mm-hmm.
another thing to blindly defend someone because they look good or they talk fancy. And
Yeah.
this frustration that I have with people comes from not just from power, but from I see it everywhere. Obviously, in our society, where
Mm-hmm.
propaganda people get propagandized, and I'm not immune to that either. No, I don't think anybody is, but you just have to be more
Mm-hmm.
vigilant to what's going on, and
100%.
and they have your own principles.
Oh, 100%, 100%. That's what, and I want to dive a little further deeper into that. It's the even with the entertainment industry or with the influencer culture, like there is a lot of people worshiping these celebrities, worshiping this uh unobtainable lifestyle that they want to live, and they live vicariously through these people, or they tend to put these people on pedestals and without even knowing who they are, like behind closed doors. And they all, it's almost like being fanatics about the whole thing, right? And they'll grab on to whatever ideal or anything that these people hold, like that's their ideals or something of that nature. And it's like, it's so interesting to see just within the community we're talking about, the level of just Jason worship or anyone that they deem to be appropriate, right?
Right.
Like, you see, they would deem like, okay, we don't necessarily F with Walter Jones, but we love Johnny Bosch. We don't necessarily mess with Karen Ashley, but you know what I mean? Nakia and Kat, like we love those guys. And then whenever a small, which isn't even in my world, it isn't even controversy, but if any small thing happens, right? Like, let's say Kat and Nakia, they sell their YouTube page, but they don't publicize it, or if like anything is going on with their YouTube page, it's so under scrutiny. Or if Walter does something, it's put under scrutiny. You know what I mean? Or if, let's say, for instance, the actor who played Austin St. John, who played Jason, when he does something, it's looked at differently than, let's say, if Jason David Frank does it. Looked at
Right.
so much differently. And I always found it interesting how people like can separate the two, you know what I mean? Or how they can like put one person on a pedestal while trying to tear down the other person when both of these people played on the same exact show. You know what I mean? Like, we can have our favorite characters, but these men are just men at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, JDF, Jason David Frank, he really connected with his fans. And this was, I mean, I'm sure he cared about them, but it's also done from a business perspective as well. And I think he has a charisma that is very difficult to replicate. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, and you look at all the people in like the Power Rangers community, they seem to worship people like Johnny Bosch or Amy Jo Johnson or David Yost. And it just seems like that they it's like they're friends with Jason David Frank, so we're gonna defend them. And while Walter says a mean thing about or does a fan word video that could make Jason David Frank look bad, we're gonna criticize him. We're going to mock him for saying someone's name wrong. I mean, this is just kind of like it's part of social media culture. It's easy to do these things when you don't have to face to face. You have the
100%.
person when you have there's a level of accountability that comes when you come face to face. In these communities, you would not say some of the stuff that's being said if you had to come face to face, and because of the level of accountability that comes from having to directly address whatever you're saying. What in social media, if you say something stupid but you're saying it to spread propaganda, you could just ignore the person's response and just block them or just say gibberish, and there's no account. And then if you don't like what the other person's saying, you could just turn off the screen. When you're in person, you can't do that, or I mean, it's much harder to do that. And that is why I have encountered from personal experience when I meet these people from the Power Rangers community in person, they are much nicer. They don't have the same heat, the same energy, because there's a level of accountability that comes from having to defend yourself, and there's no moderator, there's no computer screen to protect yourself.
100%.
And this is the problem with social media. It does a lot of good. It spreads a lot of positive messages, but it can be very harmful as well. And
100%.
you have to be. That is why I criticize people for being keyboard warriors, because you would not say this to my face. if if
100%.
if you said no, I would criticize you very harshly, and
Hmm.
you'd run away. And and the people who don't like what I'm saying but don't have a rebuttal, they threaten me with violence.
Hmm.
I've been threatened.
Hmm.
I don't the backstory with that, most people don't know, but I have been threatened. Someone
Hmm.
has told me that they would hit me across the face because I
Hmm.
said something that disrespected someone they liked. That is the level of the vitriol that comes from social media. So it's
And
good
just
to
to
have these. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
good to have
just
these
to
conversations.
Yeah, and just to say that, like, even like that same person, right? And you don't have to mention his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. But that same person, right? When I just like said something that people would consider vile, right, to him, right? And even going after him for the comments that he said, like, well, you said this to Brent. Why won't you have that same energy towards me? And I've like literally called these people out on that exact point, right? And
Mhm.
people are like, oh my God, he's so disgusting. Why is he even here? It's like, oh no, I'm not backing down from you people and you're bullying. So now I'm the bad guy. And it was so interesting to see, like, because I was in the audience, right? Which no one knew who I was, but I was in the audience for that, right?
Oh
And
wait.
I felt, yeah, and I felt like everyone literally was holding this man by the hand, or basically saying like, hey, what you did was okay, you should apologize for it. And I heard his apology for it. It was like it was a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you. But
Mhm.
I heard him attempt to do an apology, which it was so half-assed, and I just have to keep on saying that. And no accountability whatsoever. Like, he was
No.
back with open arms, like, and I've seen, and we can talk about that later. The canceling of you from the Henry Resilience channel, but just for having an opinion. But this guy can threaten violence on his channel, and it's like that. It's the same double standard that you were trying to call out with the Jason David Frank and the Rican comparison of,
Right.
hey, this one person has like, what's up with this like double standard here? Like, are
Right.
you guys aware of it? And if you are aware of it, that's kind of messed up.
Right.
Hmm. Now, man, I want to dive in so many different things with you right now,
Okay.
but we can like keep on going on that point. And I do want to later on bring up your interactions with David Yost, since you mentioned that you had personal interactions with these
Yeah.
Power Rangers and these actors, right? And I would love to hear from your perspective that entire experience, because I've never been able to talk to you one on one about it.
Uh-huh.
So that would be so interesting to like just pick your brain about that whole situation. And how do you feel about it now, just after like so much hindsight? You know what I mean? Just
Right.
like it was so many months ago. But
Hmm.
boom, you can attack whatever you want and all that.
Okay. So the David Yost situation. This has come up on social media. I mean, I to the point, I think, obviously, a lot of the actors are aware of it. This
Hmm.
was in I went to a convention, and this was in Tennessee, in
Mm.
Chattanooga, and
Mhm.
let's see, and I met someone on Henry Resilience channel, and yeah, it was a good time. I mean, it was a good convention overall. And then I asked David about the situation with the walk off,
Mhm.
and because Austin St. John and Walter Jones did a video
Mhm.
on this subject saying that they agreed to stick together. And I think a month before, I asked Amy Joe. She
Mhm.
denied it, and then she told me not to post the video on social media.
Interesting.
And, yeah, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I asked David the same thing, and then he was like, they lied about the walk
Just
off or
flat out,
whatever. Yeah,
they lied. They're
they
liars.
lied. They're lying. They never. He said that they never agreed to stick together. And then yeah, it was a good interaction. And then I came back to get more stuff signed by him. And then there was a security guard waiting for me
Mhm.
at the entrance. And then let me try to remember. And then I lost my phone at this point. I left it, like, it was like a two-story building.
Mhm.
I left my phone, so I lost my phone. So the security guard
Mm.
demanded I put my stuff to the side. And this was kind of shocking because I don't think you don't have the right to tell someone to do something like that. But I was such in a rut, like a panic. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let me look for my stuff. And then there was another security guard following me while I was looking for my phone. And then I couldn't find my phone. And then what happened was he asked me, David wants you to delete the footage. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
100%.
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. And then he's like, let me ask, I want a refund. If he's gonna do, and then he went back and he asked David if he'd give me a refund. And he was like, no, there's consequences for bad behavior. It was either David or his assistant. And then the security guard started signing some bullshit laws about like recording laws or whatever. But those laws, they don't apply. This is a common tactic that is used to try to discredit people. Recording laws don't apply in public places.
100%.
Or they only apply in private where it is deemed private. And that's easily to determine based on the context. Obviously, it's recorded, so you can determine the context in which something is being recorded. And anyway, so they try to cite those laws to try to scare me into thinking I did something wrong. I said, I'm not deleting this. And then all of a sudden, there's another security guard, and then another security guard who ends up being the owner. And he's like, well, you got what you paid for. And I'm like, what do you mean? You got the footage, I'm like, no, I paid for a whole video. And he's like, David didn't, is that you took something or something. And I'm like, I'm not deleting the footage. And then they started, I don't know how to explain, they started moving, like, it was kind of like, it was I would call it a shakedown. Not quite like explicit, but kind of like an intimidation tactic to get me to, so they started like interrogating me. This is blah, 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 blah. And then at this point, I was surrounded the front, were the two initial security guards, and then another lady who was Jody Benson's security guard, because she was also there. And then the owner of the con was on the end. And then I was against a wall. So basically, this was done, whether it was intentional or not. I mean, usually people are smart enough to know that they intentionally tried to use intimidation tactics.
Yes, they 100% intentionally did that.
Yeah, absolutely. And people want to say, "Oh, they didn't threaten violence." No, when you do that, that's not gonna fly. Like if you do that in any context, you have to assume that there's going to be some sort of violence. You cannot wait until it's too late.
100%.
I mean, people in that moment, violence is justified. But I thought to myself, these people are clearly idiots. I don't know where the footage I don't know if there's going to be camera footage. If I throw hands at somebody, people are going to say you threw hands without justification. This would probably go to court, because it would probably go to court. And I avoid that situation. And I told the guy, the head of security, I'll give the footage, not because I don't want to see it anyway. That was just an excuse for me to get out of the situation. So he deleted the footage, and then they disappeared after that. And then one of the security guards apologized to me, because even that same day he knew it was wrong. But he was just following orders. That's not an excuse. Because you have to. It's not an excuse. I'm sorry. I mean, yes. No, it's not. Like you have to. And even in that moment, he was like, I told him at that moment while I was surrounded, people would throw hands in this situation. And he was like, I agree. And I'm like, and I want to say more, but at that time I was already, in that situation.
Yeah, 100%.
So I deleted the footage, and then what happened after that? And then, I went home, and then I thought that footage was gone. But I looked for ways to look for it, and I was like, and I saw David like saying that I'm lying or something. I charged back my credit card. He claims that I was controversial, a bunch of BS. And then I found the footage. I paid hundreds of
So,
dollars. It was a
yeah,
lot.
hold on one second. All of this over him saying something he felt to be true, that, oh, these guys are lying about us
Yeah.
all sticking together. So
Yeah.
all of this is over him trying to, and we're speculating right now, but all of this is in order for him to cover up the lie he told you.
Yes.
Well,
So he said that they lied, but I
mm-hmm.
think that he is lying
100%.
and I think Amy Jo is lying as well because you look how the show played out.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be Tommy centric, and she played a vital. She is one of the few who knows exactly what happened. David knows exactly what happened because they were they were the three remaining from the original cast. They know exactly what happened. So when I saw David panicking, like, if it's true, David, if it's true, why did you stick to your gun? Probably because this is speculation at this point, because he knows he lied. But said that at the moment because he wasn't thinking that I don't know.
Yeah,
But
100%. But I've seen an interview where Amy has said just publicly that, hey, if she could go back and do it over, she would have walked off with them, and maybe if they would have did it all together, there would have been a 100% different outcome that occurred. And she kind of regretted, and using her words, I don't know exactly what she said verbatim, but she did use the term, she does regret not doing it.
Because she sees, obviously, hindsight, she sees firsthand the consequences of non-unionization versus obviously I am not privy to the SAG, the difference between SAG and non-union at that point in time, but it probably made a huge difference because I'm just speculating. Maybe Hollywood, they think, oh, they probably found out what happened because this Power Rangers was huge back then. It was huge, and word spreads in Hollywood that they tried to strike, and then she's backed out because David, all these people, these propaganda channels could try to spread a narrative like, oh, David Yost, he probably didn't want, because David Yost, he probably told you to delete the footage because he goes to Walters at cons and didn't want to cause drama with him. I'm like, I don't think so. I think
cons didn't exist. They weren't on the con circuit
no.
at that point.
I'm talking about now. Like when that footage was, I think this is Ray Reality saying this. He didn't want to cause drama with Walter because they do cons together. And I'm thinking to myself, no.
Just for saying the truth?
You're saying the truth. If he's saying the truth, what's the problem? What is the problem? And if there's backlash from Walter, then they could say, oh, Douglas Salone was there. Eric, all these actors who I have asked about this, they were all there, and they will back me up. What my side of the story. That's what David Yost could do if he was telling the truth, because they were people there when they agreed to stick together. So there are other people who could corroborate one side or the others. But I think David does not have that because he lied. And that is why he wanted to have the footage deleted. And so anyway, I recovered the footage, and then I confronted him. People want to call this stalking. I see this I'm seeing a lot of these comments about this for some reason. People accuse me of stalking. I'm like, no, when you advertise where you're going to be and you exercise your First Amendment rights, you are not stalking. I'm sorry. This is why some people, they don't do cons. Even it's a money maker, but they don't do it because they don't want to face the tough questions about their work, about the social, what's on paparazzi media. They don't want to answer those questions, so they don't do cons, and that's fine. But when you do cons, people can come up to you and ask you about your work or ask you about whatever drama. So it's 100%. Not stalking.
And you went up there, you waited in line like everything. It's not like you jumped the line to confront him. No. You were a pissed off patron who got wronged in this situation and was told to delete something that you purchased.
Right.
So you have every right to go to this person. You have the right to sue him. You have the right to complain to him. You have the right to do these things. You have the right to boycott the whole entire, like Comic-Con or the con that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Made sure no one, or just to go out and just spread the word about what happened to you. You had every right to do these things. So there's
Right.
no way they can come at you and be like, oh, this is wrong, you're stalking. And then it's like you said, it's the whole propaganda aspect of what Henry Resilien's channel has done, and the people that get mobilized when he has the green light on them. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
like, hey, well, this is the narrative we're going to spread about Brent, and this is what's going to go forward. And people are like, they're not looking at this from a normal person's perspective who's like, hey, he's a patron. If this would have happened at Walmart and he paid for something and then they kicked him out without his items, that would have been a problem. Everyone in the community would have saw, hey, that's a problem. And y'all could have at least given him his merchandise. You can at least let him leave with, and no, they tried to strip away your dignity. They tried to do all the bully you for something you paid for. And it's still, the situation truly makes no sense to me, Brent. And you handled it so beautifully,
Right.
and you handled it with so much grace. It's because I wouldn't have been able to like hold that much composure in that moment. You know what I mean? Like hands would have been thrown. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Hands would have got thrown in that situation because it's like I'm not understanding this. And the only way I can rationalize it in my head is, oh, he must be trying to protect his lie he just told. It's the only way you can rationalize it.
And it's still wrong. It's still wrong for him to do that. I mean, we're explaining trying to explain what he's doing. It's not justification for it.
At all.
It's yes, and I've told the story to many people, and they said the hands would have been thrown because there's only so much you could take, especially in the context in which it happened. You see, I had a talk with Francis Rodriguez about certain areas where I try to avoid so these situations don't happen. Because unfortunately, we live in a society where people are judgmental based off of appearance. And in our society, if you go into certain places and you don't look a certain way, there's going to be trouble. And
100%.
I try to avoid that situation. But in this context, so if that would happen in certain situations like that, people would be like, well, Brent, you kind of know that area is not safe and you were warned. But that's a little different. But in the context of a con, you don't that's not to expect it. Not in most contexts, this would not be acceptable. If this happened at a supermarket, at a restaurant, there would be outrage. People would be like, but because Jason David Frank is such a prominent figure in the Power Rangers community, and David Yost positioned himself as a friend, even though there's a new book out where I would question that friendship, but that's another story. You just wonder that there's a lot of protection. People try to justify David's behavior, and his behavior is outrage. And honestly, if I saw him at another con, I'd say again, you are a bully. You are this, and this, because what he did is not just a bad fan interaction. It's basically he stole from me. I mean,
yeah, borderline criminal. I was about to say that it's borderline criminal what he did. Like, and that's crazy. He leveraged his power and his celebrity in order to intimidate a fan and to bully you out of money, basically.
Yes.
And it's like no one is trying to hold him accountable. It's even it's the minute things, like him acting like he doesn't know you when you're being actively blocking people on his lives when they bring your name up. Like, it's so strange to me. It's like, oh, who's that? Who just brought him up? Like, you're a troublemaker. Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know Brentpham. I don't know who that is. And he knows exactly who you are. Like, and that's the crazy part. Like, to the point where he knows we're not going to even bring up the suit with Walter, like, because that made you an even bigger in this community, what I would classify as put a bigger target on your back in this community for people who want to hate you, right?
Right.
Even though you were doing something genuine for a guy you looked up to, you know what I mean? And for someone who wasn't going to like invest that type, because like we know these guys are celebrities and stuff, but they don't have that type of money to invest into their old suits, invest in these different things that would mean so much to them. And you being a fan and doing that for a person who brought you so much joy from when we all grew up watching these people, you know what I mean? It's like they find a way to take these heartfelt things and like turn them and make them vile and make them like there's some type of motive you had going on that was outside of the pure intentions you had. But like I'm pretty sure David Yost and all these other Ranger people, they know you off of that alone. You know what I mean? Not even the many, like you've invested in like these people's pockets and you've gone to many cons and you've like supported them in all types of ways. So I'm pretty sure them as a whole, and I'm just talking about the original cast, they know who you are. Maybe people outside the original cast, they know exactly who you are. You know what I mean? So for him to even do that, it's so telling. It's so much of, you can tell like, oh, he knows he did something wrong, and now he's actively trying to bury it. And it's so wild to me.
Yeah. He tries to bear like someone they mentioned my name, then they got blocked, and it's because he doesn't want to face account. He was able to, because he has people they I don't know, they worship, I don't know, but it's just kind of like he knows what he did is wrong, because if he keeps talking about it, then people will find out, oh my god, he basically he stole. I mean, you want to say, well, you gave it up willing. Well, when you use for intimidation, these are bullying tactics. It's like pushing cornering someone on the wall and say, give your lunch money or whatever. You are stealing, and you agree. You are stealing from them. It's in, I think, a legal term. It's called something being not under duress. It is not. It's not an actual giving, but people want, because David Yost is a friend of Jason David or whatever. I don't know why, but they try to justify it, or I don't know, but it's just kind of like, yeah, that behavior. It's crazy, and then people. It's just the point where they don't like me because of my opinions of Jason David Frank. They try to view these situations. It's just craziness to me.
Yeah, it's weird. And and you brought her name up, and I want to tag you a little bit of you guys' history, right? You and Francis, right? I would love to tackle, and I want to know, because I've seen bits and pieces of it, right? But I haven't seen the full scope of the argument you guys had a long time ago, which is a very, very like prominent argument between you two. It's about the Walter Jones video. And what all that was about, and what was the disagreement that you had with her in that context?
Okay, so this was, I think, Aaron Schonke was talking about Legend of the White Dragon, and let me try to remember. And then he was like, I think somebody asked him, Aaron Schonke, about what JDF thought about the Black Ranger, Walter, and then Francis starts disclosing all these things, like JDF started giving out free stuff, and then Walter got angry. He confronted JDF, and it got rough. And this is problematic, because you, as an assistant of the most popular Power Rangers actor in the entire franchise, when you are saying this, people put more credibility in what you're saying. And when you use, and I'm going to keep it real, living in California, there's a discrepancy in how people treat it based off appearance, race. I see it all the time. And when there's a rough situation, and you don't, people make stereotypes about Walter. This is the unfortunate reality we live in. When you say someone is rough, they're going to make assumptions about him. What if you say that about me? It's a little different versus if you say that about Walter. And and Frances knows, she's a smart girl. She knows this. She knows the realities of a society we live in, where there's discrepancies in how people are treated. And when you say someone got rough, they're going to assume that Walter did something. Even when you don't explain the context of something, they're going to assume that Walter got rough with Jason David Frank physically. And because she said that she was worried about the situation, and then something about stopping the situation or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told Walter this,
Mm-hmm.
and he was pissed because he was so pissed. Like I don't know if you saw this.
Really? No, I didn't see all this. Boom, you're giving me new information right
Yeah,
now.
so I went to a con in California,
Mm-hmm.
and I played the clip of what Francis said. He was very upset because there seems to be a pattern with Jason David Frank. He would record people without their consent and then
Mm-hmm.
play. And I think what he would do, this is all speculation, he would play, he claimed this for protection, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he does it to paint a situation in his favor and then leave out the information about because obviously when you record a conversation, you have the full context of the conversation, but when you
Yeah,
take stuff out, you change the context.
yeah,
And what
100%.
she did was she left out the context that Jason was telling people to get Walter's autograph for free. Telling people Walter is giving he's signing to get his autograph for free. And Walter was upset because he is there to make money. And he went up to Jason to confront him.
Mm-hmm.
And to use the words rough, Frances knew what she was doing. But he went up to her, he went up to Jason and asking him why he did that, why he telling fans that he's signing for free. And I think she admitted that that's what happened, but she left out that context because she claims it was all true, but she knows damn well that when you leave out context, you could change a situation to the point where you are telling an untrue story.
Yeah,
you are
100%.
lying by omission. People want to say that I leave out context. They are using that terminology to try
Inappropriately.
to mislead people, to distract
Mhm.
people, so they don't listen to what I'm having to say. Because context could mean anything.
Mhm.
The buildings
Yep,
around you, all that. You're always leaving
yep,
out context in that when you say out of context in that.
yeah. I pick up a cup. Boom. Didn't tell you it was a red cup. Left out a little context, but still, it doesn't change the statement. I still picked up a cup. You know what I mean?
right, or the shape of it, or the company that made. There's always context that's not being stated regarding the situation, but that argument is done in bad faith to distract people, to create an ad hominem to try to distract you. People like Henry Resilient are master classes of logical fallacy. He's very. Do not underestimate him when he has some sort of training. And I say
Mhm.
this because people underestimate him and look at there's some stuff happening today,
Mhm.
and you think people want to care about him? No, they
Mhm.
don't want to care about him. But he is a master class of manipulation and propaganda, and
Mhm.
that is why he when I say something, he says I'm leaving out context. The double meanings of stuff. He's very
Mhm.
good at distraction manipulation. So Francis actually left out context to the point where it changed the story, a situation where it may look like Walter was confronting JDF because JDF was minding his business and giving a
Mhm.
free autographs to his fans, and Walter was jealous. That is the picture she tried to paint of him, but that
Mhm.
was not true. And I think she confirmed that yes, it was because JDF was telling Walter Walter was getting free autographs. And then we did like a segment, they called it the Brent stream, and
Mhm.
we went over this, and then we talked about like what did we talk about? We talked about like JDF claiming he gave out free autographs when that's a lie.
Mhm.
And then they tried to defend him, saying that he was talking about sometime. They're like, no, when you say you give out free autographs and you don't clarify, you are telling people you give out free autographs, and if you
100%.
don't do that, you are lying.
Mhm.
And I expose that. But when you are in a platform where the owner and the moderators are against you, you could just say, "Oh, we'll just Brian is a JDF hater," and then you just turn off the screen.
Mhm.
That is why they're able to get. That's why Henry is not comfortable. He didn't confront the Rangers to discuss his issues with them when he saw them in person.
I want to
But
know, how did that all come about? Like, how did the offering to, like, hey,
okay.
come to this con with me, and where did that even come from? And
So I took issue with the lies Henry was telling about these people because it is in the context of what they're doing. What these people, it is a smear campaign. It is like saying that you are an exercise instructor and you build up an empire based off of your exercises, and then you get liposuction. That is
mm,
how damn. It's not slander,
mm,
but it is, you are ruining their reputation, not to the point where it makes it harder for them to, because these people that are fans, they will say, well, I don't want to support Walter. He confronted with JDF and it got rough. Why would I want to support Walter?
mm,
And I've seen Walter try to appeal to these fans. He sells Green Ranger coins at his booth.
mm,
He sells pictures of of the Green Ranger at his booth,
mm,
and he's trying to appeal. I have the belief and still believe that you are smearing their reputation and it is harming their business. That is why you see all these Ranger actors responding to channels like Henry Resilient,
mm,
because the reality, they go do these cons and reality comes, you come face to face with reality. This guy has an influence on fans, and I have to set the record straight, because if I ignore it,
mm,
then it affects the business. And Walter, it might not affect him not as much as the other Rangers. That's why people like Karen Ashley get so upset. People like Blake Foster, they get upset with
mm,
Henry Resilient, not because or Hector David Jr. They get upset with what is being said, not because they want to give him attention, but
mm.
because of the propaganda
It's
is
affecting.
so powerful.
It's affecting their bottom line at the end of the day. And like, we can say these things like, hey, that's all they care about is money, money. You should care about the fans. Well, when my bills are due, it's hard for me to care about fans when I'm not booking that many roles and I had Power Rangers. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not making the same thing that Jason David Frank was making. I don't have a martial arts school. I can't book a fight 3 times out of the year or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I didn't have all this. So I had Power Rangers. They're still fans of Power Rangers. I can get this booth here and like make a few $1,000s to pay my rent. Bet I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? I have a mortgage to pay. And when these people are looking at that, but you have fans who like, well, I don't care. I work a 9 to 5 and I'm here like, I'm going to listen to Henry Resilient and, oh, he just said this, that, and the third about you. So you must be a evil. Or it's like even the Aaron Shonky thing. It's like, we can say whatever we want about Aaron, right? But at the end of the day, we can say like a lot of his employees came out, they don't like him, or people was like, oh, he's greedy, he wanted money and all. I mean, when you're making movies, bro, you're gonna want money. You're gonna want backers. You know what I mean? You're gonna want certain things, right? Not to
Right.
say that he's right or wrong. It's just the nature of the business. Like, I'm pretty sure if we had this type of like microscope on a Harvey Weinstein movie from the 80s, we would have just as many criticisms, you know what I mean? If not more, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we like the way that he goes about doing things to pay his bills. Let's not throw that out there. Like, well, let's not forget that he's hurting other people's like, he's hurting other people from making money and making lucrative money on top of that, with smearing their names, bringing certain things that they probably don't want to light, out there, like Karen Ashley. She probably didn't want to know that, like, every few months or every year that she did a failure of a movie and where's this movie, The Order. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to keep hearing about that because she tried something, she attempted to do something, it didn't work out. Boom, move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? But she can't because of Henry Resilient's channel, and fans are going to keep bringing it up because they're
Right.
like, how dare you not make this movie that we wanted to see? It's like, come on, grow the fuck up. Like, she attempted to do something, it didn't work out. Not many things that go on the cutting room floor in Hollywood, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
this isn't as a big of a deal as people make it, but it's because of the propaganda. It's because of what I personally think it's brainwashing, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
It gets out of hand, and the only person that benefits from it getting out of hand and other fans going after like these people's pocketbooks is Henry. He's the only one who benefits from it at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do want to keep on talking about you and Francis, the nature of you guys' relationship and you guys' sit down, and what was your like first interactions and meeting her, and how was that, and how did you see it coming from that situation? How do you view her differently now?
Okay, so I met her at New York Comic Con, and this was
Oh, you be getting
it was
around.
very sudden. I was actually at the con already, and then she contacted me, and we had a discussion, and you know, she agreed with me on everything, and I'm not. I made sure to talk about. I expressed my disagreements with her with Walter. She said I still stand by that, and that's fine. But I think I have a better understanding of, because she's Team JDF for life. I mean, people want to question that because they claim that she was fired. JDF fired her. I have no. I mean, Scott Zillner, the owner of Power Morphin, has told me that Francis was fired by Jason David Frank. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was what I told. So I don't know the extent of the relation. But she said she's seen JDF for life. So I'm going to believe that she will lie for someone who has done things for her, has paid her house. I don't know the extent of that either. She has paid for her house or something like that. I mean, I understand because I know people who would lie to protect somebody. This is very common. I'm not saying it's right because it's not, but when you deal with people that you ride with, you have there's a certain bias, and you're willing to
Loyalty is a
lie.
motherfucker. Loyalty is
You
a
know,
motherfucker.
yeah, it's law, and I'm not. It's not. So I do understand where she's coming from, but but at the end of the day, she is the one that is she confirmed. There was another situation where Henry claimed that Walter confronted JDF for $1,500 to pay for Walter's guarantee, and she gave credibility to this lie by telling Henry that he ain't lying, and this is the problem. That's why she's not. That's why I continue to criticize her, because what she's using her platform as the assistant of J. David Frank to help push the narratives of Henry Resilient, which are flat out lies, and she knows this because I sent her the video footage of Henry lying and her supporting that lie by saying that Henry ain't lying. So by extension, she is lying, and I know she'll probably snake out of it by saying, "Oh, I didn't know that Henry said that," or that was a 5-hour stream. I can't keep track of everything, but the reality is clear. Regardless, you are lying, whether you knew it or not, which I think she knew, by saying that Henry was not lying when he said that the money was for Walter's guarantee, when really the money was for Zachary Taylor McGinnis. And then she made another video claiming that yes, it was for that. It was clear from the beginning it was for Zachary Taylor McGinnis. And then Henry was like putting his head down, like pretending that he said it was actually for Zachary Taylor McGinnis all along. But she pushes this narrative of Walter being greedy. I think she does this to distract from the shortcomings of Jason David Frank. Because Walter has been critical of Jason, I believe, in the past. I don't know the extent of that, but you can look at the stuff that's come out this year about Jason David Frank. And it's like Johnny Young Bosch, Kyle Higgins, and you want to say that Walter is greedy? I think the criticism of Walter is done to distract from anything Walter, because I'm sure Walter has gone to arguments with Jason David Frank that we don't know about, but Frances probably knows this, and she is anticipating it coming out, so she's trying to paint a picture of Walter being this greedy person to ruin the credibility of Walter. I that's my speculation. I don't know. But I feel that Frances is a loyal person, so I do understand. It doesn't make it right for her to lie on Walter. And if I'll show you I could show you the footage, but she flat out lied about him by saying that Henry was not lying, even though she damn well knew. She had the entire recording that Henry was lying, and it's just kind of like you want to be. I mean, when I talked to her, she was very nice, very friendly. I mean, she was not a keyboard warrior because we did discuss the stuff that I had issues with her regarding like the Walter situation, like the criticisms of J. David Frank, which she agreed with me. I was right. I mean, she wants to no, like what I said about J. David Frank. It's accurate. I'm sorry. Like you cannot deny a toxicology report. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot deny a police report. The only way you'd be able to deny it is if you don't believe the credibility of those documents. Those are very credible documents, and
100%.
they're very credible. It's not just a drug test. A drug test is accurate, but
Not as accurate as
it's not
toxicology.
100%. A toxicology report, you take someone's blood and you take it into a lab. This is not just something you buy from the pharmacy. It is top accuracy. And so when I say he is a crackhead, if you look at the toxicology report, people might not say that's probably not the term they would use, but they
Mm-hmm.
would say that
That's neither here nor there.
it's neither here nor there because that term is used to describe someone who uses cocaine.
Right.
And the document supports that he used cocaine. The police report, they're not going to say that baking soda is cocaine. They are going to test it. They are trained. There are people there that are trained to determine if something is cocaine or flour. These are experts, and you want to claim that somehow I am lying or whatever. No. So when I talk to Frances, there's an agreement that I am telling that I'm right, but she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like. I think the issue is she doesn't like that I'm discussing it. But at the end of the day, if you want to criticize Walter Jones, Austin St. John, Tweety Trang, all these people, Jason
Mm-hmm.
David Frank, he is fair game. I'm sorry. Um, he is fair game, and it's just she knows this reality. She's a smart person,
And
so
it's
we
going back to
discussed that.
the double standards. It's going back to the biases that people in general hold, right? It's
Mhm,
like, hey, you can talk about the my Captain America is better than your Captain America type thing. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So it's like they feel so strongly about these things to the point where they're willing. It's back in the day we used to it's tribalism, you know what I mean? So it's
mhm,
like we used to call out tribalism so much, especially in today's society. But we have to like all understand like the entire world besides the United States, even in the United States, we all hold very, very deeply to tribalism. Like that's not a thing that just left our society 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, you know what I mean? 4,000
mhm,
years ago. It's like we're still very tribal. We might do it to different things like, hey, my favorite actor is this person. If yours is Liam Neeson, I fucking hate your guts. Or the just better yet, but Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, you know, like that's a great example of it. Like people hold so deeply to what they believe or how they feel things should go, and it's not fair, you know what I mean? It's not even logical most of the time. Like with Frances, I understand hers a bit more because she worked with Guy, right? She like had an actual real world relationship with this guy, right? But the people who are piggybacking off of her opinions of Jason when they had no real relate, they probably met the guy twice or three times. It was like, hey, I was lucky to meet Jason once, or I was lucky to meet him this time. I know him. And it's like, no, the fuck you don't. You don't know this guy. Like, you don't know these people. You know what I mean? Like, Francis is the only one who can hold true to, like, oh, I've been around. I was there for this argument. So, like you said, it is very dangerous if she co-signs something that did not happen, like she gives credibility. And I've told her this personally behind the scenes. Hey, I feel like Henry Resilience using you because you were close to Jason David Frank. And you being next to him does give him a level of credibility. People
yes.
hate when I say that to her, or she might not fully agree with that, right? But there's still some truth there, you know what I mean? So it's like that's why
Mhm,
any of these other people, it's like people've asked me to like, hey, talk to Frances and see if she'll get on my stream with me, which is crazy how me and her relationship like initially started, right? To
mhm.
now it's like people are asking me to like, hey, can you ask her to come to the podcast and like chill with us for a second? It's like, oh, that's crazy. Like And like now, boom, just got a message from her. So it's like our relationship is, it got weird, and it's probably not exactly how people think her and I relationship is, you know what I mean? Because we
Right.
like talk about shit that has nothing to do with Power Rangers or do with nothing with cons and stuff like that. We talk about real world shit, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's a bit different there.
Mhm.
And I can understand the love she has for Jason, but she's the only one that I can understand when she's like, hey, I'm not going to say he's a crackhead, or hey, I'm not going to say this. Like a person like Antero 6 or somebody like that, like, hey, you're law enforcement. You know what this is already. You know what's going on already. It's like, where's your bias coming from? Or I love this whenever you would talk about the double standards with the Rican Ranger and Jason David Frank, they would always bring up Austin St. John. It was like, oh, well, you felt this way about that has nothing to do with the point he's making. Like, that's a separate issue. Let's stick on topic. Why are you bringing up Austin St. John and what this man felt towards that particular case? Because
Right.
I can see your logic behind it, right? I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but I 100% see the logic behind that. And I do also understand this guy allegedly, or well, they say he's convicted of it because he's convicted of defrauding the United States government, right? That crime that he committed is far less of a crime than anything I've heard Jason do.
Really?
Yeah,
Jason David
100%.
Frank?
Yeah,
Really?
100%. Like that crime in my world, right? That's
Mhm.
way of a lesser crime. That's a blue collar crime. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
in certain circles, that wouldn't even be seen as a crime. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you defrauded the government. You mean the people who've been defrauding us since the day we were born? Like, okay, like you
Right.
tried. You know what I mean? Even if that wasn't his, because I'm pretty sure he had a business. He got those PP loans for something justified in his mind.
Right.
Things happen, you know what I mean? And then the government went and reneged on everything and was like, hey, well, you guys owe this money back, or this, that, and a third.
Right.
I
And
don't
it's just
know the
kind
particulars. Yeah, what you were saying?
yeah, it's just kind of like and I think it comes from you have to have it because I have taken forensic a class on forensic accounting,
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
there's something called obviously wire fraud.
Mm-hmm.
That's a common term, but there was an exercise where you trace you go through every financial statement
Mm-hmm.
and you trace it. A lot of money. That is why Austin raised his prices. Let's just be real here.
Mm-hmm.
That accounting to go through every credit card statement to reconcile it. You can prove wire fraud, and that is why the penalties are so strong because the case, if you actually did it and they find it, is so compelling.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, "Oh, I didn't mean to," but oh, then why'd you buy a Maserati
Mm-hmm.
when the level of your when your revenue does not match?
Mm-hmm.
This is how people get busted. Now, I don't know the extent of this.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to ask a forensic accountant, but you could prove wire fraud. That is why when you hear these stories of wire fraud, like Wesley Snipes,
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy to yep, the very easy cases when you have the evidence
Mm-hmm.
because it's very literally black and white paper.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave him no jail time. That I don't know the extent of what happened, but that seems to show me that they looked through everything and
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't definitively find that he intentionally defrauded. There's no concrete evidence, but people want to say this signature so when I sign a wire transfer, I that's evidence of wire fraud. Are these
Mm-hmm.
people insane?
Mm-hmm.
Like wire transfers are done on the daily. There's a disclaimer saying that there's a risk of scamming. Be
Mm-hmm.
careful. You see, I'm sure, Ian, you've seen this. If you do a wire transfer, there's always a disclaimer that
Mm-hmm.
says, "Be careful who you have to check the box.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scamming. You have to know who you're dealing." They even have those disclosures now. So, just because you send a wire transfer does not mean you committed wire fraud. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And people are like,
Mm-hmm.
she should have known. Well, I mean, stupidity exists. That doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean that you intention. Intention is a huge part of
Crimes,
proving
yeah.
of crimes. I mean, I'm not a criminal lawyer, but I know that that is a huge part of not that's a huge part. That's not the only
Factor,
factor they
100%.
take, but
But
it's a
it's a
huge
big
part.
factor.
It's a
It
big
turns
factor. So that's why he got
murder
no
in the
jail
first
time.
degree. Yeah, it turns murder from the first degree into manslaughter, your intentions, you know what I mean? Or
They
did you
matter.
accidentally do something, or did you actually intend to do this? Like that, all that matters. And also the biggest thing about that, like even for these people, like because finances are a big part with fighting these things, right? So it's like
Right.
if I know like what they're going to do, and it's going to take 2-3 years, it's going to take me 2-3 years to fight this. I'm going to be bankrupt by that then, and my lawyer's going to be a billionaire. Like, no, I can't afford to fight this. And a lot of times people accept plea deals. People accept like, hey, I'm going to just, because it's more, they weighed the pros and cons and they see, hey, it's way more like affordable for me to just take this than to fight it when I know I'm right. But I'm just going to take what they give me because I can afford that. I can afford to fight this. And people don't understand that plays a large part in people's decisions to take these plea deals or to accept certain things. Like,
Dad, can I wear these jeans?
No, not right now. You're about to go to bed. Go in there. Thank you.
I wear these jeans to school.
No, definitely not. It's the weekend. Why am I caring about school right now? Go in there. I'm so sorry, but
That's fine.
But it's amazing how people like run toward like, oh, this celebrity, I'm going to champion this celebrity, and I'm going to demonize this other celebrity, and they don't really even have a it's just like with the Sean thing, right? And I'm like, hey, what's your reasoning for not liking Brent? And oh, what's something he said 10 years ago, like on a podcast, and it's like, what? Like, okay, what exactly did he say? And he's like, oh, if I had to say it, like we'd be here all day. And it's like, okay, we're here. Like, what did he say? And they can't think of anything. They can't mention anything. And if they do start mentioning something, it's about a position you took. And I'm like, well, hey, I might disagree with his position. I don't just dislike the guy for like having a difference of opinion about something that's publicly known. I can understand if this was all speculating, we were just all speculating. You're calling out like, well, hey, this is what forensics is saying about this guy. This is what the coroner's report says. This is what the police say, and I'm taking all of this into account. So I'm having, even if we're guessing here, this is a really educated guess right here. I'm guessing that he probably was a crackhead. And people are like, how dare you say that? Then it's also the people that I hold more accountable is the people like, hey, I agree with you, Brent, but you shouldn't have said it in that way. Or I agree with you, Brent, but let's not say that out loud. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, are you guys okay? Like, and that's what made it's a lot to do with your situation. And I do want to talk about when, because you were a part of this community, right? When I first, and just to give a little context, when I first got into their Discord, right, I asked about 2 people, and I was like, hey, where are these people? I asked about you, and I asked about the other guy who threatened to punch you too. So I asked about you 2, and I was like, where's Drew Danger and where's Brent.Pham? Like, I've been in this like back and forth with you guys for like 3 days straight. Like, I haven't seen these 2 guys at all. And it was like, oh, well, Brent don't mess with none of us here. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? And it was like, yeah, Brent doesn't come to the Discord. So I want to know, when did things start getting very toxic for you in the Discord to the point where you just started pulling away? Because I know you are a day oneer. Like, you were one of the people who were originally there for Henry Resilience channel.
Yes. So I don't know when you asked about, was that 2025?
That was, yes, 2025, early
Okay.
2025.
Obviously they're gonna say that, but let me explain to you what happened. So I was at PMC, and this was right after the David Yo situation, this issue with Karen Ashley and Steve Cardenas, all those people. I went to PMC, and then I started getting stares. People were staring at me at PMC. people were posting pictures of me on Discord. And then one guy was like, "Are you okay? Are you tired?" Like this passive aggressive. Like I was so taken aback by, "Are you really trying to passive aggressively insult me because you don't like what I say online? Like, are you being serious right now?" And then one guy kept staring at me and like walking, like staring at me, and I asked him, "Can you take our picture?" I was with another guy that watches Henry's channel, and he was like, "No." I was like, are you being serious right now?" So yeah, it was pretty nuts. And then this guy, his name's Javi. I'm sure you've seen him in Henry's Discord. I don't know, but we were on the bus together at PMC for the field trip, and he basically had a lot of stuff to say online, but when he saw me in person, it was nothing, quiet. So I trolled him and played his interview with Henry on the bus trip. So yep. And then
That's
you know,
funny.
just
That
because
was
people are
good.
watching all kinds of stuff. They're watching, you know, previous Power Rangers episodes. I'm sure they're watching other social media. So that's nothing unusual. I mean, and then he posted, I was looking at the Discord, and then Javi, I found out later, he took a picture of me looking at the Discord. So literally, when I was looking at the Discord, the picture appeared while I was looking at the Discord. And I looked to the side, and the people that were in the picture that he posted were still in the same position that as they were when the picture was taken. So I walked towards that direction, and then the picture deletes.
Oh my God,
And
that's
I
so
was like,
creepy.
this is insanity. Like, you guys, I'm done with Discord. I just left quietly. Like, this is
That's
too
creepy.
much. Like, you guys can't handle. Like, I'm here, and you want to, like, if you have an issue with me, discuss. I met Degenerate as well, and he was like, "I can't talk to you. I have to be. I'm a volunteer. I don't want to lose my position." I'm like, you're a coward." I think I said this to him on later, like, "You're a coward." And obviously later, we know later on that he's still in that channel supporting that nonsense. But that's another story. Yeah. So yeah, I saw Degenerate, the one of the mods on Henry's channel. I saw Matt Fisher, all these people. I'm trying to think any other people. Javi. I didn't see any. I think my might have seen Juicebox, but I think I did see him, but I didn't know it was him at the time. I don't remember. I don't know exactly. And then yeah, it was just kind of, yeah, that is why I left that Discord. And they're like, they can't handle, like, they can't handle me. I'm sorry. Clearly, as because they banned me, obviously. But yeah, that is why I left that Discord, because this behavior is just taking pictures. I mean, you're allowed to do that, but why? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what are you like? What are you doing? So yeah, that is why I left that Discord. This
Yeah,
was in 2024.
yeah, and I don't
So
know how much time you actually have, but I do want to, cause just to talk about those people and just like just those interactions with certain people like Antro 6, and like I'm very curious to like how did things get toxic between you two guys, like, or was that just him just feeding into the propaganda and just not liking your opinion as well?
I mean, obviously, he never liked it from the beginning. I think when the thing with Drew happened, he tried to push for an apology because obviously he knows more than I do the particulars when it comes to when you make threats against somebody. This is not online drama
Nope.
anymore. This is, we're talking, I mean, I don't know the extent of, there would be legal documents involved. Now, I don't know to know the extent of that. I mean, there are people who will simply not tolerate that, and they would say a cease and desist. I mean, that's not like, that's not an actual, like, that's just a warning, but a restraining order, especially when you repeatedly threaten those things and you don't stop, and you're given multiple days to calm down. These are potential avenues most people would push a restraining order. Regardless, does not bode well. That's not something that you, oh, it's just a restraining order, I'm not going to say. I think those things could be looked up. I don't know the extent of restraining orders. I don't know if they could be looked up online. It's just not a good thing to have on your record, regardless if it's there, if you could see it or not.
100%.
It's just kind of like, so Answer was like, he's apologizing because once I accept, this is my speculation, based off of common sense. Once you accept someone's apology, you're no longer threatened by them. So the threat of any legal action goes away. Obviously I knew this. I'm not stupid. So when I accepted his apology, I thought I was relieved. Like, oh, he is at least can control. He is not unhinged. That is why I accept his apology, not because I felt it was 100% sincere, but because he's not like this unhinged person. Because I did ask him that same day, "Are you threatening me with violence?" I did not ask that to create content or a sound clip. I asked that to know that, hey, this is getting out of line. Are you threatening me with violence? Like, I'm trying to nudge you. Like, you need to stop doing this because you need to know that you're threatening. You're literally threatening me with violence. There's no answer. There's no joking around here. You are literally threatening me. If you see me, you're gonna do something. Like, I asked him, "Are you threatening me with violence?"
And that's concerning.
To show him that is what he is doing. I'm trying to hint at it, and he's like, "Yes, I am." Like, oh my god, this is. I got messages from people. I think Francis messaged me. All these people messaging me because they knew he messed up. And most people that who don't understand nuance or are not willing to put up with that, they would just point and say, "This guy is out of control." I will be. Just think about it. If you did this in any context, in the real world, quote unquote, if you threaten those things, I don't care if you're joking. People are going to take that as a threat, and they are going to look, depending on the person that you're doing it to. There are legal consequences for that behavior. You see at airports, if you merely threaten someone, there is a fine for threatening employees, merely threatening them. So it's a very serious issue, and that was the first time when I knew that Henry's channel is propaganda. Like, you need to take it. One is if someone threatened your family. I know he's biased, but it's kind of like you could have taken a bigger stance, and he was allowed to go on that channel, and it's just kind of like, and that's the first time I knew that Answer was like, a little biased here, but I didn't know the extent of the bias until obviously the ban. So yeah, that's the first time I think it was like, wow, you guys are this is ridiculous. Like, someone literally threatened someone, and you guys are okay with this behavior. It's just craziness. So that's the first time.
Yeah, and that's just people who they can deem to be not fit for their circle, or it's the people, it's like, hey, you're not, that was something that was told to me. It was like, hey, if you're not thinking the way we're thinking, why are you even here? And that was a big red flag for me initially in the beginning. It's like, whoa, like, why would you want people to, like, you know, to parrot your talking points or just like agree with you when I like don't agree with what you're saying? You know what I mean? It's like, right. I can understand you love Jason David Frank, but even if you feel like his daughter is destroying, quote unquote, destroying his legacy, why are y'all in here wishing death upon this young lady? You know what I mean? It's like, is it that serious? And then my biggest thing with that, like, hey, like, they could have whatever they have going on. He could have said whatever publicly. But at the end of the day, that's still his daughter. Like, I'm pretty sure if you're saying, if you was in front of him and you wish death upon her, like you guys are doing because you're comfortable with being in the Discord doing it, if you was in front of this guy you consider to be your idol, he wouldn't be your idol anymore. He would probably put hands and feet on you. So right. I don't get where this, oh, I'm closer to Jason David Frank than anyone that he actually knows, or you're gonna listen to what I'm saying and you don't really have an opinion, or if you do have an opinion, we're gonna ostracize you. We're going to make you feel like less than a human. We're gonna try to like belittle you. We're gonna turn you into these two-dimensional cartoon villains because you're not listening to what I'm saying. Or if I'm still, and that was the craziest part, when I'm still like, hey, I understand your point. Let me steel man your argument for you real fast to let you know I understand exactly what you're saying. Do that, and they're like, oh, well, you agree with me now. And I'm like, no, I still don't agree with you. I'm understanding what you're saying. I just don't agree with that. And they're like, oh, well, why are you even here if you don't agree? Like, whoa, like I thought Discord was for discourse. And they was like, no, this is not for discourse. And I was like, hey, could have fooled the hell out of me, right? So it was that's what made me like so standoffish from the group and the way that they thought, it's like to the point where it's like, boom, man, I gotta go over here and be in cahoots with Rican Ranger, just to get some of these points off real fast. You know what I mean? And I would love to like pick your brain behind that whole controversy. Like, do you even have thoughts behind all that, like that circus that's going on?
Which circus?
With Rican Ranger, and there's a new controversy. That's why I was like, damn, I don't know how long I got you for, because I do want to ask.
Tonight I have pretty much, a couple hours. That should be enough, right?
Oh man, we're good. Oh,
we're good. We're good. You called me during a work day, so I tried to fit you. I tried to accommodate. It was your first time, so I tried to accommodate. But obviously, people started calling, and I was like, oh. Time to go. But yeah, tonight I have I'm pretty free tonight. So yeah, we can discuss that.
Yeah, I want to ask you about your thoughts about the entire Rican Ranger controversy and what thoughts that you may have. What hot takes do you have about that? And I also want to have a conversation with you about what's going on right now when it comes to the Francis leaking the call from leaking the voice note from Jason, with the Blake situation, how everything's going on with that right now. Boom, and just get some of your thoughts on that.
Okay, so Rican. So I knew he came. He wasn't day one. Obviously, it doesn't really. I don't know when he came. I think it was 2024. I don't remember exactly. And they were great. Henry and Rican, they got along great. Believe it or not, I know that's hard to believe, but when when a channel like Henry has no standards, it's very easy to believe how things could change really quick. Because obviously, let's see, the first split, because that channel first received losing audience members when Aaron Shonky came along. And Henry started creating, and Rican stayed with I think with Henry's channel. But what happened? I don't know what happened. I think Dust Productions made like some meme or something, so he got offended or something. I don't know. But that's when the split happened with that, and it's just unfortunate. Unfortunate because and some of the stuff with someone named Renee, I think you know who she is. He started like saying that, oh, I have something on you or something. I'm like, damn, this is out of control. This guy is out of control. This is I would not. That's why I refuse to appear on his channel as a guest because of his behavior.
We was trying to get you for KOD season 1, dude. Like season 2. Like I swear, I was like gunning for it behind the scenes. Like, come on, guys, like. Let's try to get
that behavior is objectionable. To say that you have a recording on somebody and I'm not gonna like that. That's Frances did the same thing, and that's. But I understand she does it because she's her loyalty to Jason, thinking that he would want that. Is kind of affecting her judgment. To say that you have a recording on someone, but it's so bad I won't release it. I'm like, no, that's not gonna fly. That would not. No, that's not acceptable behavior. So that's why I refuse to. I think Rican he emailed me or something. I said no. I just ignored it because I will not put up with that behavior at all. I don't tolerate it. So that's the extent of our controversy with him. He called me Wombat, and like, those things I don't really care about. But
yeah, the Wombat, right?
Yeah, it's just like I don't really care about that. That's just it's nothing. But it's just kind of like, and I hear this drama about like him and his like something with the picture of Henry's daughter. And I'm
Oh
thinking
yeah.
to myself, that behavior is not acceptable either.
Mm-hmm.
But where were you guys when Drew Danger literally threatened me with violence?
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a bias. It's Henry's daughter. There's a bias there, but they're not. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can ban both Drew and Rican from your channel for their behavior. There's nothing stopping that. But I just noticed a double standard
Yeah,
in the
he's not gonna do it.
behavior, and it's just kind of like this. It's another. It was like, wow. Just for a picture, TMZ takes pictures all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think TMZ or somebody got pictures of Kobe's dead body after the
Mm-hmm.
helicopter crash, because they're very prominent in Los Angeles, particularly that area where Kobe is. That is the keep up with the Kardashians. That is where they live, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
so they were able to get that pictures, and you know, it's
Right there in
that
Calabasas.
behavior is immoral, but it's kind of like it is accepted in the and you want to call Henry wants to call himself TMZ of Power Rangers. That is a behavior
Mm-hmm.
that you have to be willing to accept. I don't like it, but that's just the reality. When you're taking pictures in public places of people and posting them online, that is what TMZ does, and you want to be outraged that someone wants to do that. I understand people are going to say, well, Rican, it's creepy. Well, when you have a channel and you don't, you have certain standards that you set, you allow people like Drew Danger to continue to be on your channel for threatening violence. You take pictures, you record people without their consent. You have people, you have pictures of me on Discord, and you are okay with it. Then when it's your daughter, if someone says, oh, I want to take a picture of your, it's creepy, but that is a standard you set on your channel. These are the standards you set. And so when Henry said that, oh, Rican taking the picture of daughter, I was like, I would not put up with it. He would be banned, but he allowed Rican to go on for entertainment.
Yeah,
And
he's
this
even
is the
gone on
problem.
Rican's channel. He's gone on Rican's channel.
Yeah, I'm banned. Well, obviously there's a reason for that, because Rican is not debunking Henry's propaganda. I am. You know, and it's kind of like the doubles. Henry is grifting off the Jason David Frank fans. If people don't understand this by now, then you know, it's just whatever. But it's just kind of like, yeah, that drama, and then the thing with the pipe or whatever. Henry's mods like calling CPS on him. This is and it ends up not being accurate. This is a problem. This is outrageous behavior. Now I'm not defending Rican's behavior per se, but if you're gonna criticize somebody, criticize them on something that there's proof for.
Yeah. And
You
that's the
know,
thing,
like
he has no real proof of anything. Like, I know it started with him lying over a picture that a picture that someone drew that he took. And I knew nothing about that. Rican never brought that to my attention. I found that out later. And I felt some type of way about it. And I was like, hey, bro, this isn't cool that you did this, right?
What AI picture?
No, it wasn't an AI picture. It was an actual design from an artist that Rican had stole, right? So when and Henry covered it, right? It's like one of the first videos on his Rican's playlist. And I was like, hey, that's really good journalism about this guy. You know what I mean? And exposing, he did this crappy thing to a real artist. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then as it progresses, it gets well, I have nothing. So let's just throw milk cartons and tomatoes at Rican at this point. You know what I mean? So it's there's no real substance here. You're just doing it as brain rot content, right? So when this guy when things are happening and it starts to level up and get serious, right? Instead of telling the people behind the scenes, hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or hey, can we lay off doing that because now it's touching home for me because I have kids. I wouldn't want anyone just because they don't like me on the internet to call CPS on me. Henry knew the whole time. Henry literally used that information and then was like, hey, Nerd Talk might have called CPS on it, but he knew who called.
Oh, he knew. Okay.
He knew. Because Angels literally says, hey, I told Henry right after I did it. Told all of them right after I did it. Henry knew.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa. he got on his, and then that's what made Nerd kind of pissed, because he's like, well, he said that he got on his platform and said, I did it. I was like, well, we know he's a liar.
Wow. So Henry knew that Angel called CPS. This was last year, right?
Last year. Yep. He knew.
Yep. So he knew. So even he knew this behavior from his moderators
That was
is
my
getting out
point.
of hand.
Yeah, that was
And
my point the whole time. My point the whole time was, hey, he's aware of what's going on. Not the fact that Reality's boyfriend's picture got leaked. I could give two fucks about that, right? I'm talking about the pattern of behaviors that we're seeing. We're watching people gather information about people that they deem to be not cool with us. And they are either leaking this information or holding the information to use as like emotional blackmail or something. You know what I mean? So this is getting dangerous. And that's what I'm trying to point to, as this is dangerous. When he literally got on his New Year's Eve stream and basically said all that. And the most he said was that doxing you, Dust, with the whole Dust situation? No, you never got docs, Dust. And I was like, hey, well, I don't give a fuck about that. That's not my point. My point is the fact that y'all have been gathering information about everybody. So I started inquiring about the information that they had on me. Everybody doesn't know right after they block. I asked Dust first. Dust, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything to you. Blocks me. Asked Answer. After me and Answer was having like a couple of talks, right? And him and I were like becoming like acquaintances. I asked him about it. I don't know what you're talking about. I never had nothing to do with that, with any of that type of stuff. Boom, blocks me. The only person who didn't block me that I asked about it was Francis. And she knows. Her and I like had heated back and forths about that behind the scenes. Like, bro, I have 3 small children. Don't try to find out where I live. Don't try to like look up information about just because you don't like some shit I said on the internet. Because now we're entering in a different space. Now I'm going to protect myself at all costs. And I'm not trying to do that with you guys. Like,
yeah. Craziness, and Henry knew. That's why he said that Angel was public enemy number 1, because he knew this was going. And the doxing, this is this is a distraction. Doxing, nobody was doxed in the legal term. Nobody, because doxing is when you take someone's legal, protected private information and you relieve it or dox it. But what they're doing is taking the public information and throwing in people's faces to try to intimidate people. This is a problem. But people like Geek Zip Podcast try to pretend that Henry didn't, Ray Reality wasn't doxxed, blah, 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 blah. Was Henry doxxed? And there's no response. And it's like, Henry's distracting you. He knew he wasn't doxxed when he said Blake Foster was doxed me. When he says that, he knows he wasn't. What Blake did is objectionable, but it is not doxing. It is using it's bullying, intimidating behavior, and that is what Chad Billington did. He revealed someone's picture with it. Their picture didn't want to be revealed. It's bullying behavior. It's intimidation, and it's dangerous because if it could, what you are doing is saying, "Oh, it's allowed to look into people's private information." This is dangerous because
Henry's literally told Sean, "You keep playing with me, I'm going to send you to go and see JDF."
Oh. Who said this?
Henry Resilient on Ray Reality's, in one of Ray Reality's streams.
He said that to you?
No, he said that to Sean.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, it's just kind of like that's craziness. And it's kind of like Henry views it, he's grifting off of JDF fans, and he knows that this behavior is what they want, because I speculate there is more about Jason David Frank that if it comes out, because we're only on the tip of the surface here, which like that interviewer, English Jack, whatever his name is like, he literally told Kyle Higgins, if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to. And Kyle talks about it anyway. That shows a lot about the extent, and I speculate that there's a lot out there that Francis knows about that hasn't been disclosed. So I think they're getting at the smears are out there to distract people from that, which is unfortunate because JDF, he has his flaws. And if things come out, like, we're gonna judge him because he was a real finger wagger when at conventions. So I will be critical of him if whatever comes out. But it's kind of like, why are we doing this? This doxing. Like, why is Angel telling me that you have this information on? Why is my dad's name relevant? What you're gonna come up to convention and say, I know your dad's name. It's this, and this. How about you shut up? Oh, no. You're lucky I'm a nice person, but if you do that to somebody else, you know how dangerous this is? Do people are I'm hoping that they do know, but they want to pretend that it's not serious, so they want to keep doing it. But this is problematic. Like, I didn't know what anything was going up. So when Dust showed that stream, I'm like, are we really doing this? Like, this behavior is so dangerous. Ien is not saying that lives are at stake just to create content. He is saying this because this will bleed, like, you'll start searching for people. Like, what are you going to do? Like, look for my attorney? Like, why do you have a court doc from family court? Like, what are you trying to find dirt on me? What is going on here? Like, what, you want to pay my attorney bills? Like, I have Venmo. You want to pay my attorney's bill? Why are you looking into my information? This is Angel. And it's like, none of them are innocent. They know what's going on.
Angel. I'm speculating that it's way more, and this is just speculation right now. I have no concrete evidence of all this. It's just the behavior and what has transpired. I'm speculating it's way more than just Angel who's done this. I'm speculating that it's the TJ guy. It's Antro 6 is at the helm of it. I believe it's Henry Resilient as well. I believe these guys are, and I believe that he has this circle of defense that he's put around him where he's like, okay, you all know what to do. And it's like, how do you say that? Where it's like, it's quiet. Everyone's quiet, but everyone knows their purpose and what they're supposed to do. And they go out and fulfill their roles. And we're just going to all just stay quiet about it. And if anybody tries to say anything like pointing to the truth, we're going to do a little sleight of the hand here, where we're going to show you guys this. Because they always got something in the background, right? Right. So even when I started presenting certain arguments against Henry about his real life, he brings out of the blue where he's like, hey, I'm not going to talk about this until my court case is done. The next stream, he has some fabricated email from a detective saying exactly answering the question that I had posed to him, right? So I'm like, hey, that's weird. Because you usually don't have, when you say, hey, I don't have anything, a question gets posed and you have the direct answer to that question out of the blue. When you said you have nothing just a few weeks ago, like, that's strange to me.
Yes, he's smart. Look, he knows what he's doing. And there was a picture that I saw that was deleted. Chad said, like, Henry, don't talk about the race stuff publicly. This was in the Discord. And I'm like, this is the time, Henry, like, if you are actually didn't know what's going on, you have to ban these people from your channel. You have to you can't just make them not mods. You have to ban them for good.
He knew what was going on. That's why
but he knew but it doesn't matter whether he knew or not anymore. But now he knows and he allows it. And so it doesn't matter anymore whether he knew or not anymore, because now he knows and he still allows them. So my speculation is that he knew the whole time, but he had people who were loyal enough to him, and it's just craziness. I mean, Chad released that photo of Ray's boyfriend, and he won't even cam up right after. Doesn't want to show his face. It's just it's ridiculous, and my God, like, crazy behavior. And yeah, Henry knows. Like, when I talked about the propaganda, when I told Sean Rhea, you are being propagandized by Henry Resilient. Then I see these streams like pro JDF narrative, and that we're not brainwashed, blah blah blah. Shay's like, we're not brainwashed. Well, if you're not brainwashed, then you are complicitly going along with propaganda, with lies and propaganda. I don't know if
That's a
that
bit more
makes things any
dangerous.
better.
That's a bit
Same
more
with Answer
dangerous.
6. You're not propaganda. Oh, you're not brainwashed. Okay, then you are going along with lies. It's because it's one thing to have a bias, but there's a whole other thing to spread lies and propaganda. And so they address in their stream indirectly, so they are watching. And it's just it's crazy that this behavior is even tolerated. Like this not doxing, but this using information, information that people hold personally. It's like it's all public, but you're throwing information at people to try to intimidate them, and this is a problem. But Henry allows it because he is grifting. It is his baby. He calls it baby mama terrorist fund. And it's just kind of like, damn, it's just shocking because they know damn well in the real that behavior is not acceptable. It's not acceptable behavior. It's one thing to have a bias, but to try to intimidate someone, say that I know your dead father's name, that behavior is out of bounds. And you want to see like if they saw me at a convention, I would probably start shouting at them. That's probably what would happen. And I wouldn't care if I got kicked out. If someone wants to do that, because that's what they were. Angel told me that's the information that they had, and it's like, we're really gonna do this? No. It's just, I'm glad that I mean, they're not. I said this that he is not innocent. You have to know what's going on, but this is a turning point. What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna claim, oh, I didn't know, or are you gonna disassociate yourself from those people?
That's exactly what he did.
That's exactly what he did. And again, I'm not making excuses for him because he should have known. When you have an evidence tab, what evidence for what? What evidence are you looking up? If someone, why does my dad's name evidence for what? Why is that evidence? That's not evidence. That's you're using that. I never claimed that my dad's name is this and this. This was ridiculous. He should have known. He should have looked into what evidence are you gathering. But he was too trusting, and I was willing to give him the benefit. I'm willing to give him the benefit of doubt, and I saw what he did, and I was like, okay, that's acceptable. Juice is not innocent in this.
Yeah, at all. I told him that.
He participated in this, but he saw what he was doing was wrong, and he spoke out. Look, I didn't like his stream. He didn't take enough responsibility, but at least he shed light on what was going on, and he was an active participant in it. And that there's no excuse. But the big difference is that he realized at a crucial time that it was wrong, that this behavior is wrong, is out of control, wrong behavior. And I think he came to his senses, just like all these people. And so I'm willing to talk to him, even though I do not like that he was gathering the stuff on me. Because I think he was the one that disclosed this to me, that he was the one that was doing it, and along with a couple other people. And it's like, this to be you calling CPS ridiculous. What he did, calling CPS, he said that he's a responsibility to do that.
You had no responsibility.
No, especially you need evidence. If you have evidence of a drug test, even a drug test from the supermarket, then you might have a case.
That's even the thing. In most places, even when cops are even if they smell marijuana, even if they like think that you have marijuana on, that's still not a justification for them to go and search you for the marijuana. Like, these are laws we have in place, so you can't speculate and be like, oh, I think this is happening over here. I think that, with no evidence of anything. Like you could have said, oh, the kid I saw a bruise or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's evidence of something. Like, something, maybe we need this investigated. Some guy who's smoking, it could be me. I'm smoking a cigarette. You know what I mean? So it's like, somebody can easily see me smoking on the street and be like, hey, is that weed? Well, let me call CPS on him. And that's 100% wrong. You have no evidence of anything that I'm doing anything illegal. You just don't like me. So
yeah. And you're just I'm a Henry mod, which Angel was at the time. And it's like, I'm gonna do his bidding. and it's like this is out of that behavior. It's out of control. Obviously, I didn't know the extent of what was going on. Obviously, I was kept out of the loop for a lot of it. I mean, obviously, and I didn't really care. But it's just kind of like, it's one thing to look up, do a search on somebody and see, oh, that's someone's name, blah blah blah. But to actively say this is evidence, and it's be keeping in we're keeping tabs. This is it's problematic. This is not acceptable behavior. No,
so things start becoming and then even when Henry is saying things like, oh, they want me to control my mods. They want me to do. No, if I see him kill somebody, they want me to be like, well, what are you going to do about it? No, you have to do. If you are this law-abiding citizen, as you keep saying that you are, if you're this father, if you're all these things, you're going to say something if someone's committing a crime, especially if you're creating a business and people under you are doing crimes, bro. Guess what? They've established RICO laws 50 years ago, 40, just for people exactly like you, who their underlings are doing crimes. And guess what? They want to somehow tie this back to the boss, because we don't care about the little fish. We want the big fish. You're the big fish in this. So if you're seeing your underlings doing crimes and you just turn a blind eye to it, that's worser than them even doing the crime. Because now it seems like you have a whole criminal organization going on now, and you're going to be held accountable for it. This is why we have these type RICO laws in place for people like you. And if you don't think you need to tell them anything or say anything because your hands are clean, they're not. Like you're just as much culpable for Angel calling CPS on, because you knew about it. He knew. You just like even the people in him. And I remember Ray defended this man with her last breath, bro. And I literally told her on the last episode of KOD, I said, one day he's going to call you out of your name and he's going to throw you under the bus. And she said, why would he ever do that? Why? And I was watching it, right? And then I flip over to another tab, literally of Henry Resilient saying, I ain't apologizing to that bitch. I'm like, whoa, I told her.
Wow.
I told her. That's one of the reasons why she bans me from her channel, because I literally like told her all of this was going to happen to her. And she just didn't believe. She thought that she was trying to put me on game about Rican. And I'm like, hey, I got this Rican stuff handled. Like, Rican is here, and me and Rican are associated with each other for a benefit on both sides. What you have is blind loyalty. I'm not going to tell any of y'all that what Rican was doing was right or wrong. I could care less, to be honest with you.
Right.
I was more interested in arguing points, right? I want to argue the thing with Nerd, right? Because I've done debates like that, you dig? Where we're arguing, what is consent? What does that mean? Oh, biblically, what is your ethics behind this? Okay, your morals could be different. We can argue these things and have a good time, right? If something is right or wrong, we can argue that. They're coming at me with these personal relationships, and I always would tell them, hey, I can't tell you what to feel about your personal relationship with Rican, but don't try to group me into that personal feeling you have with him and try to act like I'm a bad guy just because I'm trying to have a real conversation. And then when they told me about the dust thing, I was like, oh, well, you guys are shit for that. Like, did you guys knew that the last young lady would have a real accusation against Rican? They were like, well, no, because I thought it was all jokes and was playing. Oh, well, you guys are just as culpable. He can be mad at y'all for that. Like, that's justified for him to be mad at y'all for like saying that he was doing like borderline like sexual harassment to them, right? And then thus making a video where they're all thinking, oh, this is all jokes and games. But the way Dust positioned the video, it's like, oh no, these are real allegations and these are real women lobbying allegations at this one guy, Rican Ranger. He can 100% be angry about that, because now you're mischaracterizing what actually happened.
Right, right.
They're basically saying he did something criminal. I'm like, bro, they're calling you a criminal here. Like, if that was everything that happened and Rican just left that alone and just called that out, he would be seen in a different light, right? I think it's really the ninjetti of it all that makes Rican look unhinged and crazy almost. It's like, hey, I got my AI Power Rangers and we're gonna make $1 billion with this. And I'm like, come on now, but like it's AI, like stop it.
Right.
That's what makes them look crazy. But with actually the harassment that was taking place, with even the fact of, hey, give me $5 and I'll play this guy in pink spandex videos. And it brings me a level of, that's strange. And that's weird. And that's when you're seeing that I started noticing it's like, oh, when this guy has no content, talking about Henry Resilient, when he has no content, he literally turns on his fan base and tries to find who in his fan base that I can make a spectacle out of so I can get more views or keep the conversation going.
Right. Yeah. He's, yeah, he's grifting off of them. I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's his thing. And I mean, Ray, I mean, she was, I mean, I always said from the beginning, we're not a community. We are not friends. I'm sorry. I've never met, like, there's a reason why I met Henry in person before I offered him to go to Ranger Stop. Because I think it's very important to know who someone is in person. So I cannot call someone a friend if I've never met them. Even France, I've met her, but I've only met her for a couple hours. I don't have a real friendship, or we're not a community. So that is why when these things happen, like, it's like, oh, it's like some of the people are like, I don't want to see Henry's channel ever again. I can't believe I supported him, blah, 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 blah. I hear these stories and it's like, well, I knew the whole time. So it's much easier for me to continue watching people, even if I disagree with them, because that's the society we live in. You cannot be focused on only stuff you agree with, because that narrows your worldview. And
100%.
that is why I'm able to be exposed to people like what Fran, when you close her off to different viewpoints, you narrow your perspective. And that is why I'm able to understand Frances, because I know she knows what's going on, but her loyalty to Jason David Frank, I understand to a certain extent. And that is why we're able to have a friendly conversation, because and I know she supports Henry because he is pushing a narrative that supports someone that because she probably, this is speculation, she knows the stuff about Jason David Frank that's not very savory that she knows about, but it hasn't been disclosed yet. So I speculate that Henry, the message, the positive quote unquote pro JDF material, whatever, she supports it because it sees JDF in a good light, and that is someone that has done good things for her. That she feels indebted to. So I understand that, and that you only have that perspective when you communicate, you watch YouTube channels, all these things with people you disagree with. Whenever I hear Henry say, oh, they're watching me, they're ninja watching. What people don't understand is this is manipulation from Henry Resilient. He is trying to use reverse psychology to try to guilt you into not watching him, so that people like me, he's trying to guilt me into not watching, so that I can't speak negatively about him, so I don't expose further the propaganda he is pushing. It is straight manipulation, and this is only things you learn when you expose yourself to different perspectives. You hear this all the time when you watch a channel. Cohen, the three ninja or thunder buddies or whatever, they're probably watching. You damn well don't be surprised if I'm watching. I don't watch with the same enthusiasm as before, but I am watching because I view you as entertainment. But also, if you say something that's so out of line, I'm going to speak out, because when you say something about Walter Jones, you are affecting his livelihood, whether Walter wants to admit it or not. Because that is when you deal with fandom, this is exactly the clientele he is trying to appeal to. I will say something because this is someone I have had personal conversation with Walter. I don't know him well. He's not a friend of mine. But when you do a show where that mistreated you to honor someone I was inspired by, that means a lot to me. And those people, all they see is that you give a suit to Walter Jones, JDF didn't even, that's all they see. They don't see someone who came back to a show that mistreated him and honored someone who inspired me. I can go on for hours. How Twee inspired me. They don't. All they see is that she's a PSA for a car accident, and she's beautiful, and she was a nice girl who was manipulated into walking off the show. That's all they see. But I see something different, to the point where I'm giving Walter Jones his suit. So they can say whatever they want. But yeah, it's just propaganda manipulation, and the fact that Henry, it doesn't matter if he didn't know before, he knows now. Worst case scenario, and he still supports them. He is guilty either way, and it's not a crime per se, but he is guilty of what those and he still allows them. He still speaks to them like it's normal because they think that social media, you are protected by a computer screen. That behavior that they are exhibiting, they would never dare say that face to face in an in-person discussion. It would not happen. Because they know it's embarrassing. They know it's not acceptable behavior, but they feel they are protected by a computer screen. And that is why Chad won't even show his face, because he's afraid that you could find somebody based off their face. So that's why he doesn't show his face online. Especially, he wouldn't do it in person. But this is Henry knows now that behavior, and he accepts it. So he is guilty, regardless.
Yeah, 100%. You just said something that I found so deep, and just even knowing just your back and forth, I don't think people get to see that real side of you, right? Of you being inspired by Twee, or you actually understanding what they were fighting for in the 90s, even to stand up to, let's say, the higher ups, right? And the big wigs who were taking advantage of them as young actors, right? And seeing it from that perspective, not looking at it as like, oh, they were quote unquote greedy, they wanted more money, they didn't have a leg to stand on and negotiate. Well, they just made $1 billion off the show. What are you talking about? They had no leg to stand on to go back into negotiations. This is what you do in negotiations. You know what I mean? Like, even the fact of the toy sales, right? From my opinion, like, hey, like, I can understand, like, don't give them the Zord, a percentage of the Zords and things like that. With the Ranger figures themselves, like, you guys were using their likeness in those flip head action figures. So that's literally them. Like, they deserve a piece of that, a percentage, even if it is a 2%, 3%, some sort of percentage of these toy sales in perpetuity. So if you're not understanding business, though, you're not even understanding how they were in those negotiations, to the point where they all had to come together to get a lawyer, and they didn't have their own individual representation. And being to the point of, hey, I won't accept whatever you're trying to give me. I'll just walk away, and y'all can like spin it in the press however you want to. That's cool. Like, I view what those three did as so commendable. Because let's say, for instance, if it was the way that they said it was, right? Why did Jason come back in Zeo? Well, Austin come back in Zeo. You know what I mean? If it was so hostile, if negotiations went so left, you know what I mean? Like, why was he asked to come back? Not once by the same people, but twice, and once a Ranger also. He was asked to come back then. So it's like the environment must have not been, they weren't that hard to work with to the point they got fired. It was just the simple fact of, hey, let's do what's fair. And we can't use the whole thing of, oh, well, they weren't seasoned actors. Well, they just made billions of dollars for the Prime Saban. So that kind of goes out the window. You know what I mean? Like, their season, they just worked 60 episodes on this one show, and it's the biggest show in the world. Like, if that's not proof of concept, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? So even I see so much shady shit happening surrounding that, but it is very interesting to talk about the, like, oh, how inspired you were by Twee, and the things that, like, how you revere Walter just for honoring Twee.
Right.
And like I've never heard someone like actually like put it that way, you know what I mean? Or just like, or even like characterize why you bought him the suit in that way, because nobody would
Right.
even know. Even if I was to ask someone like let's say a Henry or a Sean, like, why did he buy him the suit? You know what I mean? That would be a great question to ask these guys. You don't like him, you'll make up that as like a dig, but do you know why he bought the suit? So it's so interesting that you bring that up. Like, oh, this is
Right.
why I bought this suit for this man.
Right.
Like he really someone who inspired me. And I see, boom, and what is your ethnicity again?
Vietnamese, yeah.
Oh, boom. So it's not that many Asian characters that, I mean, we got a few. We got Bruce Lee, we got, Jackie Chan, but like we didn't have it on like just television, you know what I mean? Like on a series like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So you have that, and people don't understand for a young child how big representation is. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I didn't see it that way though, because that's not how I saw it. But that layer, it does bring because similar circumstances. My parents came. She came by plane, and Twee came by a boat, which is what my mom. That was the worst case scenario, because I think Twee did an interview with us, and that was she called. I don't know if you watched this interview. She did it with James Wong, I think his name is, or one of those James Hong or something. One of those actors. They did an interview, and she came by a boat, and four people died. And she talked about it so casually, when this is a story that my family only discuss when the whole family is together. And she talks about it with such fearlessness. You see it, the way she speaks. It's just, it's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. There's very few people. Only the people that work with her understand where I'm coming. And I don't blame other people. Even people watch Inner Circle, when I talk about, they don't understand because they don't relate to that. They relate more to Walter, which I understand, but they don't understand like, because they don't know Twee, like they weren't inspired the same, which is fine. But it's very hard to explain this, so that's why it's not something I chose to elaborate on. It's just something, when you see, because I see genuine connection between Walter and Twee. I see a genuine, not the same one. When Jason David Frank talked about Twee, it was she saw her at a restaurant and felt bad for her, so he left. I think there's more to that story. I think Twee probably had a speaking with him, because there's probably more there, but I wasn't there, so it's all speculation. All the stories I hear about Twee, that guy claiming that she cried to him and regretted ever speaking out, I speculate that guy was part of production or was paid off by the production team or something that or whatever. So those are the only stories you hear about Twee, and it's just kind of like people like Walter, they really understood what she meant, how she's able to inspire someone, and that's why I understand to a certain degree why people like Jason David Frank, and not because I was inspired, but I understand when people, I do understand that, but with me, it's just kind of like, I don't blindly make excuses for her. Because that would be, ironically, that is why she left Vietnam. One of the reasons, I think, because of the propaganda in government, and that's not the only reason, obviously, but that's one of them. I would believe that is why my parents left. But that I don't want to speak for her, but that, I mean, the propaganda is just so strong, and if I was just to blindly follow her, that would be something I don't think, especially her, that's not something she would want from her fans. I mean, obviously she would want them to think for themselves, but that's obviously not something she would support. And it's just kind of like, I mean, that's kind of the short of why I gave. Obviously, there's a long-winded answer, and that we don't have time for. But it's just kind of like, that's why I got him the suit. And Walter was not my favorite character. I didn't really relate to him. But when you show love and support for somebody, especially when he didn't have to, that is powerful, and that is why I felt comfortable giving him the suit. I mean, obviously, the David Yo situation really, I was hesitant to do so, but I met someone from Walter's inner circle, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I was wrong to judge him for what David did, and that's why I gave him that's why I gave him the suit. I mean,
Oh, that's dope. That's
yeah.
really, really dope. And I'm glad you got your side out. But man,
Right.
whatchamacallit, do you have any final thoughts? Like
Oh, we
you
were
have
going to
any
discuss the current draw
Oh,
this
let's
I
go
kept
into it.
yeah let's I mean yeah we could discuss that. I was seeing this and I was like, why are we doing? Look, why are we doing this? I know why it's being done. It's to create content to griff off the JDF fans because there's a perception that JDF didn't like. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't know the extent of the relationship. But why are we doing this? I mean,
Mm,
I can't believe we're even this. Um, I mean, Francis, she disclosed the recording. There has to be
mhm.
more recording.
Yeah, that's way more recording. I believe we got here off of the Rican and Blake connection. So I don't know if you're
Oh,
familiar with the
yeah, I
whole
am.
thing. So it's like boom, when Blake literally sent Henry's daughter and his pictures to Rican, right? And in those conversations, even like me and Blake have like an extensive chat log, you know what I mean, from
Hmm.
all last year, right? So it's like he said things to me, you know what I mean, that I'm not going to put out there. But
Uh-huh.
during him and Rican's conversations, I believe that it was something about jewelry that came up, right?
Hmm.
It was two things. It's two parts. It's the jewelry thing, and it's the Francis got fired thing, right? That
Uh-huh.
rubbed her the wrong way, right?
Right.
But they started, I believe they started like what right now, like let's be transparent. They're campaigning against Francis right now. Like they want Francis out of here. And it's like I'm not going to disclose who all it is right now, but I can say that I have personal information that it's a small cabal of people who are making fake Francis pages, who are like who are actively trying to destroy Francis for her
Why?
connection with Henry Resilient.
Oh, really?
100.
There's people. Look, I said this. I said this in 2023 and people thought I was she brings credibility. This is the issue. She's releasing these recordings. The only reason they walk back on it is because I play those recordings and Walter provides the context. That is the only reason why they backtrack on the $1,500 was actually McGinnis. Because I am the one. Because you are. I told you the story. This guy tweet is not here anymore. Like this guy has gone social expressed is able to spread her message, and you are gonna do this. You what are you guys doing? Like that is so. I played Walter the tape, like the recordings and stuff, and he provides the context. And the only reason they walk back is because I did that. And but without that, it sounds very compelling. She really pushes a good narrative. That's why they want her. Now, do I agree with the fake France? I don't, but yeah, that's I can understand why people don't want her to associate with Henry. I understand that.
And then it's like, you know, and I can't say if it's right or wrong because she's a grown ass woman. She's supposed to, she can do whatever she wants to do, right? It's the whole thing of where I don't like the group thing, and I don't like when people like come together to bully, even if it's somebody that like I don't necessarily agree with, right? I don't like
Right.
bullying at all, you know what I mean? So now I'm seeing them, and I believe like right now they're trying their best to push Francis in a corner, which they don't understand. Like, hey, she's a different type of lady, bro. She likes to be pushed in corners because she's going to fight back at all costs. So this is opening a can of worms. The recording that came out, that's about to open up a way bigger can of worms. You know what I mean? It's even with the content creator that he just posted on his, and I'm talking about Blake. He just posted a content creator and was like, "Oh, this is the guy who's hating on me," and he's called the guy, made a F-bomb like video about the guy and Francis. I believe that was like a double, double. I'm gonna get at you, both of y'all, but it's even the thing where he was like, the guy made a video and he was like, "Hey, don't be scammed by Blake Foster, the Blue Ranger," and bringing up all the other controversies that he's gotten from Henry Resilient. And like, and I'm gonna just for disclosure, now that I'm just going in thinking about it all, if what they're alleging that Blake did, he is fucking disgusting, right? Having intercourse with Sky at, before she was an adult, that is abhorrent. Like, there's no way I can like justify that or stick up for that in any type of way, right?
Right.
It's just the nature and how it's coming out right now, right? And then the bigger thing is, this is what I have a problem with on all sides, right? When people know that it already happened, right? They were aware of this happening, right? And now that they're being attacked, now they want to speak up about something like this. That's when I start to question people. Like, I start questioning motives at that point. I start questioning, like, hold on, we've always known this. Why weren't you been saying this? Like, he's having sex with children, bro. Like, no, he shouldn't have been let around that. He shouldn't have been let into any con. You should have been vocalizing this from the jump, even if someone told you to shut up and don't say anything about it. Like, that's a child. And 100%, Sky was a victim at this point. But we have to have more proof than just Jason saying that he believes this happening. And then we speculate on, oh, well, if he's saying this, it must be something compelling. Like, we have to have concrete proof that this happened. And then if this is the case, she's protecting him. Sky's standing up for him right now.
Right.
Which makes it even more weirder if it is true. But I don't know if it's true or not, Because at this point, we're just mudslinging, right?
Right. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, but if you consider Jason David Frank, his pattern of behavior, especially when you hear about him backstabbing Johnny Young Bosch, backstabbing Kyle Higgins because that is, to me, that is backstabbing behavior. If I put in money and there's a certain budget and then you withdraw and you leave me with you pick up the slack, our friendship is over. I'm sorry. I'm about the money. Well, you're about the money. You just say that, you need to you can make the money back. That's not gonna fly with me. No. You are based and he had bipolar. That is not an excuse.
That's not justification.
No, it's not. No, he did this to Kyle Higgins 3 times. What are we doing here? We're gonna trust his word. Like, if it comes down to who do you trust? It seems like, based off the wording of what Jason Frank said, it seems like this is all speculation that prove to the world that blah 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 blah. So he's not accusing him directly. He's just saying him to prove it. I mean, this is
that you didn't do something, and it's like, how? You know what I mean? Like, how can I prove? Like, you got to prove that I did do something. Like, that's the burden of proof is on you, sir. Like, right. It's not on me. I'm being accused of said thing. So you're gonna have to prove that I did this thing. And they're saying it's proof. Like, in the recording, he's saying, hey, there is proof. And then people are speculating about it, saying that, oh, well, Sky must have shown him something that he believed beyond the shadow of a doubt that it occurred.
Believed. Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about some this is craziness. This is you're accusing someone of a serious crime that is both legally punishable and morally judgmental. Like there are people who did things that are perfectly legal that so objectively morally that they cannot get another job in Hollywood. They can't even show up at a convention. It's the father from Seventh Heaven. I don't even want to discuss it because it's so ridiculous. But he can no longer. Ever since it was disclosed that inappropriate exposure to a minor, and he's protected by statute of limitations. So he is in legally he is in the clear, but morally he cannot get another. He cannot show up to a convention, and so this is a serious matter. This is, my God, you are literally ruining his reputation if it's a lie, what they're doing. This is just because Jason they've proved to the world. If he was alive and he was confronted, he would be like, "Well, I'm not saying he did it. It's just I just think it. I'm not saying he did it, but he knows damn well that when it comes to fandom, thinking might be enough, especially with his level of fame. He can get away with this stuff. I think Jason Frank used his fame to insult people and get away with it because he's protected because of his stardom. And I think this. We're assuming that what he's saying is a lie. We don't know either way.
Yeah, it's kind
of like we don't know. We have to be very careful here. But it's kind of like he can get away with saying this stuff, and people will believe him because he put out an image that he's this caring person. But I do wonder if he felt this way, which clearly he felt a certain way. Then why are you doing conventions with him? Oh, it's just business. Really,
there's no business when it comes to that. Like,
no, if you don't, if you, to me, I mean, again, if I was in that situation and that was true, or even if I felt that way and it's not true, let's just frame it that way so it's easier to discuss this. Let's say he felt that way, that he proved to the. So he probably thinks he did something to Sky. Then why are you doing conventions then with him? So you could argue, well, we don't know for sure. Then why do you think that way then? If you don't know for sure, why? What are we doing here? So either he thinks he believes in his mind that he did that to Sky. Why are you doing conventions with him? Why? It's just business. Oh well, then you're okay with doing
money over your child. Yeah,
right.
Money way more than your child, and that's gonna be like that's character flaw. It's a big.
That's a character flaw on his end, but they don't want to address this because at the end, like if someone did it to my family, no, we're not doing business. I'm sorry. If I felt that way, never mind. We're not talking about whether we have actual proof. We're talking about his mere feelings. If he truly felt that is what happened, why are you doing cons? Ranger Stop 2022, Power Morphicon. Why those happened after that recording? Why are you doing cons? My speculation is this is being used to create content and to smear Blake Foster's name because they use the keywords allegedly, all this kind of stuff to reflect responsibility. Henry's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. It's all alleged, based off a report, alleged. But he knows that
he really believes
the fans they're going to jump to conclusions and say that JDF is right. So it's Henry. It's all a grift for him, and it's just kind of like I think Francis knows what's going on. Henry knows what's going on. I don't know if everybody else knows what's going on, but that is what I think is what is going on. This grift. And because they use allegedly, he believes. So those aren't definitive statements, but it doesn't matter. You're smearing his reputation. You're smearing Blake Foster's Like, do I agree with him in all things? Do I agree with the way he's handling? Probably not. But I do understand if it's a lie, why he would react that way. Because you are directly affecting his bottom line. Because JDF was the leader of his season, and you are affecting his bottom line. Again, I have to repeat, we don't know whether it's true or not, but we're just assuming that both sides, and it's just kind of like...
It's like a thing. it's like I don't see how if he did, let's say, you know, sexually assaulted his daughter. I don't see anyone in any world who would feel comfortable enough to do that act, right? And then later on, after the guy dies, sell pendants with his helmet on. Like,
Right.
I don't know, but I don't. That would be me going into someone else's brain and trying to figure out what the hell they're thinking. But it's so hard for me to even fathom a person doing that, because that was really heinous. You know what I mean? A little bit.
Right.
It's like, so I don't know if these people are that, because now I have to paint this person with a brush of, oh, if he did think he's malevolent, he has some sort of malevolence inside of him. He's evil. And that's what people are going to run with if they truly feel like this is what's happening. But in his brain, he could be literally like, hey, I didn't do this. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm comfortable with selling a pendant of a guy who I looked up to and who was like a brother to me, like an older brother to me.
Right.
So,
and then they try to play the clips, like screenshots of Blake being angry at JDF for blocking him. JDF has blocked people before. He has done this with Austin St. John. I spoke with the owner of Power Morphicon, and he confirmed it. He said that Austin could not be at Power Morphicon on Saturday. That's literally what the owner of that con, PMC, told me. And this is confirmed with video footage of Power Morphicon. You see one day JDF, one day Austin. So it's basically confirmed. So he has blocked people. He has done this before. Now Francis might say, "Well, he didn't block Blake at at this con." I don't know that for sure, but he has blocked people before. But when I say that, Francis is silent. She's a smart girl. She's not stupid, so she knows that there's video footage that would confirm my side, and they're using that to ruin Blake's credibility. And it's just kind of like, we don't know what happened, but let's say that JDF really felt that way. Yeah, why is he doing cons with Blake? Why? That's if he's telling that, if he really believes it. Let's say that he's lying. It's a care flaw either way. He doesn't look good either way, in my opinion. I don't know why they're doing this. They're opening up. I don't know the details of this, but this is very dangerous. This is Blake threatening to sue, or I don't know.
Oh God, you stay. Can you hear me? Oh God. Well, there's a storm going on here, guys. Like, glad everybody like tuned in for a successful stream. This was very interesting. We got to hear Brent's side of things and like have an in-depth real conversation with him. And it was really, really interesting. And I appreciate everyone who came through, sat with us, chilled with us. And this is going to be the official first live stream of Everybody Gets a Trophy. Had a great time doing this. I'm trying to hurry up and wrap everything up before lights go off and on again. But I appreciate everyone for being here. And remember, everybody gets a trophy here, but not everyone deserves one. I've been your humble and gracious host, Ien Conner. And tune in again. And we'll have more great in-depth conversation about fandoms, entertainment, life in general at some point, and we're just going to like have fun, and like get into the real conversation and like dive really deep. But I've been your host, Ien Conner. This has been Everybody Get Your Trophy.
W.
Yeah.